What up, guys? Jason Guyman here tonight, and tonight we're going to talk about permanent lighting, how Matthew got a $14,000 job. I'll show you some pictures, and as we work through the permanent lighting stuff and the benefits of permanent lights, and we will work through that. But also, don't stick around because I'm going to talk a little bit about marketing because I love marketing, and I'm going to bring a new thing of showing a new AI tool each week. I love AI. I use a lot of AI. And so I am going to kind of show you a new tool, new something every week of how I use it, how you can use it, and how you can grow your business through using AI. And so it is definitely something. I know some people are like, that's stupid and blah, blah. That's AI. I love the people are like, that's AI. Well, good for you. Good that you can see what AI is and what AI isn't, right? So that is what we will be hitting on tonight. And no, I am not AI right now. Or am I AI? Right? So I will show one later on of a video of me being AI, and it's not actually me, but I'm not going to show that one tonight. I'm going to start off easy. We'll kind of work our way through some of the AI tools, how you can use them in your business, how you can grow with your business. And so tonight, that's what my goal is, for you, to help you grow your business. And so with that, I'm going to give you the book of the week. This is a good book. I just finished reading it myself. And the name of the book is, well, Story Brand. You can see here, Story Brand is the name of the book, 2.0. This is Donald Miller's newest book. It was just released a couple weeks ago, and it is a great book. I highly recommend it. It's his updated book. If you've read Story Brand, just the regular Story Brand 1.0, this is 2.0. It's a great book. I highly recommend it. It talks about how to put story in your business, how to get more sales. Quit selling the crap and start selling story. And that is exactly how, whether you're selling this, if you're selling pressure washing, if you're selling Christmas lights, if you are selling permanent lighting, right? It doesn't matter. You want to put story into it. You know, story is what gets people to buy from you, not this is, the bulb, and these bulbs are awesome, and I love my bulbs, and your bulbs don't look as good as my bulbs. And that doesn't sell at the end of the day, but the best way to sell is by using story, and how can you use story in your business. And so that's kind of where I'm headed for tonight. Hopefully you guys get something out of this and you can take information to grow your business. It's been a cold week this week, being that it is Wednesday. We got about an inch of snow this morning. We're supposed to get another inch or two tomorrow morning. Luckily, we're in the northern part of Kentucky, and we're not in the southern part of Kentucky or eastern part of Kentucky where they got washed out. They got a ton of rain down there. And so that is definitely something that kind of stinks, and a lot of people are out of their houses right now down in that part of the country. So if you're in that part of the country, we pray for you, and hopefully you guys can get back up on your feet and get going, which I'm sure you all are, because you guys are usually able to do stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're headed to. Again, this weekend, last weekend we had a class. We actually did a permanent lighting class. It was a great class. It was an awesome class. Saturday was amazing. We had Chris Johnson helping me do the marketing and sales, and Chris is awesome at that. If you haven't been in one of his classes, you should be. He does amazing at the sales side of things. I did the marketing. I talked about marketing, how to get business, how to get leads. I went through all of the AI stuff. I went through your CRMs. I go through everything on Saturday, and then Sunday we had a great class of doing how to do the permanent lighting jobs. And so it is definitely something that is a lot of fun, and it is something that I promise you that you will get everything you're worth in your permanent lighting jobs for this. I do have a couple classes coming up. If you want to go check them out at christmaslights.io, and you'll find them there. So with that, we got Mason in the house. How are you doing? We got Gino. Are you going to do a permanent lighting in Florida for class? It's not snowing down there. I should. I was thinking about doing it this year. In fact, my daughter has a tournament down there this year, and I was going to try to do it, but the way the time is, I'm probably not going to be able to do it this year to be able to do it down in Florida this year, but maybe next year in the wintertime. I need to do it definitely in January or February when it's cold, because Jason hates cold weather. I actually got a good friend down in Florida right now that he goes down in Florida in the wintertime, and he likes to rub it in of the cold weather. So that's kind of the way that we get to deal with it, right? So, but it's all right. It's all right. We'll live up here in the cold of Kentucky, right? So let me get this going here. So one of the things of why, I didn't mean that to be so loud. One of the things as we start talking about permanent lighting and why it is something that you should do or think about doing is one of the things is I will agree. I love Christmas lights, right? I love temporary lighting. I love the model of temporary lighting. I think it's probably the best model out there. It's the most money-making model out there. You will make a lot of money doing Christmas lights, not permanent lights, but just Christmas lights. And I get it. And here's the thing. As we move into 2025, 2024, there's a lot of people wanting the permanent lighting. And so is it for everyone? No, there's a lot of people that don't want permanent lighting, right? There's some people that just love Christmas lights, and I get it. I love Christmas lights too. Christmas lights are my favorite thing because I see a lot of you make a lot of money. And that is, my goal is, how can I help you make money? And so I love Christmas lights, and Christmas lights make you all a lot of money, but let's be real. So Dustin, who I sell lights for and who I've been out there a bunch in Utah, a good friend of mine. And Dustin has thousands of Christmas light customers. He has a 1,500 to 2,000 he's had all the way up to almost 3,000 Christmas light customers. But what he has found and what he has seen is a lot of people are starting to move to permanent lighting. He was losing about 5 to 10% every year to permanent lighting. And so he was like, oh crap, you can see the writing on the wall. The business is getting smaller because people are going to permanent lighting. And so he decided to start looking at the permanent lighting. Now, when Dustin gets a product, he just don't go get a product and put any product up. He likes to test it and test it and test it. And that's the reason why I help sell his product is because he tests a lot, right? If you've come to one of my Utah classes, you will know that there's lights laying like thousands of feet out on the fences of just lights out in the sun, out in the heat, out in the freezing cold. And so it's it gets hot out there. It gets up into 100 degrees, 110 degrees, and it gets very cold out there in the wintertime. So it gets really hot and cold. He just turns them on and off. He has different ways. He puts sprinklers on them. And so he's testing all the time. And so he found the product to start offering it to his Christmas light customers, because his thought was, and I agree 100%, is if people are going to leave, they might as well leave to me, right? I might as well go ahead and service them and get the Christmas light customers over to permanent lighting. And so permanent lighting is a great business. It is a lot of fun, but it's not Christmas lights. I'll just be honest, right? I know Govee has done a great job of doing their marketing, right? They have probably the best marketing out there of any Christmas lights or any business that I know of that get people to sign up with it. And so that is the thing with permanent lighting. So how did Matt land a $15,000 job, you might ask, right? So what does a $15,000 job look like? Well, it doesn't look nothing too crazy. A lot of times people might think that it's whatever, but let's see if I can find a good picture of it here. So what does a $15,000 job look like? Well, I will show you here what a $15,000 job looks like. This is what a $15,000 job looks like, or $14,000. It wasn't 15, it was $14,000. And so How did he get it? Well, he knew how to sell, right? And if you know how to sell and you know how to do things, guess what? You can get $14,000. Now, I get it that most people will tell me that I'm crazy, that there's no way that he got that. He got $55 per foot is what he ended up charging for this customer. And so did he know everything about permanent lighting? Did he know everything about it? No, actually, I went up and showed him how to install this house. This was our test house. And so some people are like, Jason, that's just crazy and ridiculous. Well, you can believe that all you want, that it's crazy and ridiculous, but I'm just telling you what it is, right? I'm just telling you that, hey, this is what you can get. Now, are you going to get all of your customers at that? No, you're not. I promise you. But, you know, sometimes there is people that are trying to sell this stuff all the way down into the teens, 10, 12, or 15, 18, $20 a foot, $25 a foot. Well, at that point, you're not making no money, right? Why do something if you're not making no money? I don't understand it. If you want to be in a business that is a nonprofit, that you're going to go out of business, don't even get into business. That's what I will say to you. I understand that you're going to tell me that, Jason, you just can't get this in my area. And I get it. Some of you won't. You're 100% right. If you believe that you can't get it in your area, you are 100% right. You won't get it in your area because you have to believe in yourself. You have to change your mindset. You have to quit listening to all the people in all these other groups that saying that you can't get it in your area, and you got to turn that off, and you got to be the best at the best, right? You got to make sure you answer the phone. You got to make sure you get that quote out. You got to do the follow-up. You got to call back. You got to do the text messages. You got to do these things to be able to land these clients, and you will find out that 9 times out of 10 is that you have to make sure that you answer the phone. And yes, I am live, Alexandria. And so you have to make sure that you answer the phone, because if you don't answer the phone, people are like, well, Jason, you just don't understand. You can't get it in my area. Well, you know, the other day, someone was telling me that they called like 10 pressure washing companies in their area, and one person answered the phone. One! But yet, you're telling me you can't get it in your area. Well, by God, you can't get it in your area if you don't answer your phone and do the things that you need to do. You're right, you won't answer the phone. But Jason, I ain't got time for that. Well, you have time to go out of business, because that's what's going to end up happening when you do this, right? That's what's going to happen. And here's the thing. You cannot worry about your competition, because guess what? I got one here. Local company is $14 a foot in St. Louis. Guess what? They're probably going to go out of business, because that's what happens to these people. I see it over and over. You know, Jason Hefner was one of my good buddies right here down in Florida, right? He's in Florida. He's in the land of the cheap. I've heard this since I started pressure washing. You won't believe how cheap they're down here in Florida. Florida, there's blah, blah, blah. Florida this, Florida that. You can't believe how cheap it is down here in Florida. You can't get that at pressure washing in Florida. You can't get that in Christmas lights down here in Florida because it is cheap. And you know what I told him? Follow the process. You know what the process is? Quit worrying about your competition. Because and here's the thing, Jason used to look up to all these other companies. He used to look up and say, man, these are big companies. And you know what? Now he's looking at buying them out, and they're going out of business because they might have looked big, but they wasn't, because it wasn't making no money. Man, they were cleaning 4 or 5 jobs a day. They were busy as all get out. They stayed busy so much, they had 2, 3 trucks, and none of them is making money because all the money's going right out the door because they're too cheap. And guess what happens when you're too cheap? You go out of business. You can't do marketing. You can't do you can't do your follow-ups. You don't have no one answering the phone. You go out of business. But by God, you're cheap. I'm closing them. The best part is these people are the same people who are like, I'm closing 90% of my jobs. Yep. And you're going to go out of business. You're too cheap, right? That's what's going to happen. I know it sucks. I understand that a lot of people don't get this. I coach a lot of people. I do a lot of free phone calls. I do a lot of messaging. I hear a lot of the cries, and I'm going out of business. I'm going to lose everything. But I'm going to tell you something. You know what I normally tell everybody right out of the get-go? Raise your prices and start believing in yourself. Because if you can't believe in yourself, nobody else is going to believe in you. I can't believe in you if you don't have belief in yourself. Now, if you have belief in yourself, I'll be your biggest cheerleader. Go get it, right? But if you can't believe in yourself and you just think of worrying about everybody else's stuff and you're not worrying about your own stuff, you're setting yourself up for failure. And so you can get good money out of doing permanent lights. I'm not saying you can't. Is there people going to do it cheap? Sure there is. But guess what? That's okay. Let them be cheap. Let them go out of business, because that's what's going to happen is they're going to go out of business. So can you get more than the little bit of money that you think you can? Absolutely you can. So how's the pricing, right? I always teach people that you charge $30 to $50 to $60 a foot. You know, depending on how hard it is, it's going to raise your prices. If it's a real easy one straight run, $30 a foot, man, you might even, if you want to, the bad job bad enough, do it at $25 a foot. But what I will say is the steeper you get and the more difficult and the different cuts you get, the more you need to go up, because it's going to take you a lot longer. Me and DJ did a job about a month ago. It took us 2 hours. It was super simple. We came out of the garage, popped it out of the garage, ran it both ways, and we were done. Super simple. But we also did a job that I thought was going to be super simple, and it had little like 6x6s hanging down on the roof. Like there was one here, or right here. There was one here. And it ended up taking us 7 hours because we had to do all the little cuts to get around the stupid thing. And so I thought it was going to be super fast and super easy. And it ended up not being. It took us a lot longer. But you know what? They loved it. They sit there and they have their phone, and every night they change colors. And we had to go back to teach them a little bit more of how to do this programming and stuff. And it was a great testimonial on a review, right? Because he was like, man, we love them. We sit here every night. Like every night they change something different. And she likes this one and he likes this one. And guess what? Now we're not just a permanent Christmas light business. Now we bring joy to their life. They even said this was the best purchase they've ever done in a long time. That was literally the words that came out of their mouth. It was the best purchase they've done in a long time. So guess what? That's what we're selling. We're selling on that. We don't sell on, we have these lights that are 24 volt, 36 volt, 48 volt, 12 volt, whatever volt you got. And they're UL rated IP68. They are this bright. They have this many lumens, and they don't care. That's not what we sell on. You know what this lady bought on? She never had her Christmas lights on one time. You know what she has them on? The security lighting, because she don't like the dark. Guess what? If I can sell on that, now it just goes from a want to a need, right? Do you need permanent lights? Yes, you need permanent lights. You need permanent lights to keep the boogeyman away. But if you don't ask questions, if you don't find that out, guess what you're selling? Yeah, these got little tits on it. They illuminate this way, and they have we can get 60 million colors and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Quit selling on that way, right? This is how you land $14,000 jobs. Not by selling the lights. You can sell lights all day long, but guess what? They don't care, right? They don't care about that. You're not selling the benefits. You want to sell benefits. And I don't care if you're talking pressure washing Christmas lights. I don't care what you're talking about, what business you're in. You got to sell there. Thoughts on Govee? I think they're junk. My personal opinion. They fall down. You can get some 3D brackets. They look like crap. They don't look like, they look cheap. I mean, that's, this track here that I don't have a piece with me over here is aluminum. It's the same color of their soffit. So literally you can't tell the difference. I got some pictures of it here. So you can see that we make it to the house, right? And so that's what sets us apart. So you can see here that it is aluminum and it's the same color as the house. And that is what we do that for. So that way it sticks to the house. It's not going to get, if you do plastic plastic will sit there and break and get brittle. And I put plastic stuff on my mom's house, and it was about the same color, but as the sun has hit it, it has changed colors, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, it sticks out really bad on that house, and that's why I don't like that brand. I like this here because it sits up underneath there. It does a lot better, and that is why I like doing these here versus the other ones, right? And you know what? Even a female can do these jobs, right? His girlfriend, his wife, put them up, and she was using the saw, cutting them. She was installing the whole 9 yards, right? And so she was coming down. And so this is why you want to be able to do this. And see, you can see that we matched the same color of the paint. It was very hard to see other than it was a little bit shiny. If I would have did this in plastic, it's going to stick out. If I did it in Govee, you just got lights. They're not perfectly straight. And so that's other issues that you can run into. Now, if that's what you want to do, then more power to you. But I'm not going to sell Govee lights because it's literally a product that you can go get at Costco, and they're going to go get it at Costco, and that's what it is. And I will tell you that these are 10 times brighter than the ones at Costco. It just is what it is. So that's what I will say on that for the permanent lighting stuff there. So here's one. I've actually got 3 major mistakes that most people run into. One, they're too cheap, right? They don't charge enough, and they wonder what happens to them. And guess what? You can go put up Govee. I seen a job the other day. I wish I had took the picture of it. Somebody paid $275 for this guy to go put up Govee. They literally drilled through the house, through the wall, out the wall, and didn't put no caulk or nothing. You can literally see straight through the wall where they drilled the wire at. They drilled a big hole about this big, and they just had the wire running through it. $275 job. That's what I'm saying is, there is people everywhere that will do stuff dirt cheap. But most people that you want as customers, they know that. They understand that. And they're willing to pay for quality stuff. They don't have to be the cheapest. You know, in my mentorship today, we were talking about how giving a discount, you don't have to give a discount. You know, as a poor mindset, we always think that we have to give a discount for everything for them to buy. And most people that are willing to spend $3,000 don't care about a discount. I'm just telling you the truth. They just want it done right. They want to be able to call somebody if it goes wrong. And that's the whole point of what we do. Right? We don't do here's cheap and we're gone tomorrow and you're never going to hear from me again. That's not what we do. We're not doing this for beer money. I don't teach you to do it for beer money. I teach you to do it for a living so that you can make a living. You can go full time. You can be what you want. You can have time freedom. You can have financial freedom. You can't have financial freedom when you're only doing a job this big for $275. It ain't going to happen. I promise you, because you're going to be broke before you even get off the job. At that point, you might as well work at Chick-fil-A and you'll make more money and don't have to worry about falling off a ladder. Don't have to work in the cold. Don't have to work in the hot. So you might as well do it that way, right? So that's something that you got to look at and think about when you're doing this, right? So that is a major one, is not charging enough. And I see this one over and over and over. The next one is they don't market. They wonder why they can't get jobs. Jason, my phone don't ring. Well, what are you doing to get the phone to ring? Well, I got me a nice truck here, and I bought me a bunch of stuff, and I don't do nothing. But I want the phone to ring. I want to make money. Well, that don't work. I promise you. That don't work. Permanent lights ain't that hard. You know, a lot of times people think it is hard, and it does take a little bit to figure out. It's not, I'll tell you right now, it is not as easy as Christmas lights. Christmas lights by far is 10 times easier than permanent lighting. I'll just tell you right up front. Permanent lighting is, you do have to think a little bit. There is times you got to do power injection. There is time that you might have to run another box. There is times that you may have to run another power supply somewhere. There is times that you might have to run a big wire down to power supply downstream. So that is definitely something that you do have to think about. And that's where if you do have a job of a permanent light job and you want me to help you, definitely reach out. You can message me. You can text me. If you text me at this word here, where's my thing at here? If you text me at, I can't find it. Here it is. So if you text light to 855-619-5483, it will actually start letting you know when I go live on Christmas lights. But if you want to have a question on a permanent light job, you want me to help you get it ready or make sure you have the right stuff, you can go to or you can just text the number at 855-619-5483, and I will text you back and get back with you and help you in whatever way that you need. And so that's kind of a way that you can do that. So why do I think permanent lighting isn't going away? Well, I mean, you can do a lot more than just permanent lighting. You know, we can sell this stuff a lot of different ways, right? We can sell it as or architectural lighting. We can sell it as security lighting. You know, I've had one of my jobs I had done is the person asked if it was just landscape lighting, and it was all down lighting is all it was, right? All I did is down lighting, and they were like, "Is that landscape lighting?" Right? And so you can see how this can be really good of what it can look like, right? This was just, I turned on a couple lights, right? I turned on the 3 on the peak. I turned on two around it, and it made it look awesome, right? And they were like, "Is this landscape lighting?" I'm like, "Nope, this is just permanent lighting." And so there's some really cool stuff that we can do to change the way the house looks that lights the house up, and it makes it look awesome. You know, we did it in red. I did the barn. We did all kinds of stuff here. So that's it in candy cane. So that's how we were able to change it. But the big thing and then obviously you can do it with where it will run. You can see where it's running there. Everything's running the same way, which is what you want. You can do it in pure white, which I don't really care for pure white, but that's what it is. Some people do like pure white. I like the warm white. But you can see that there's different ways that you can light that house up. I even did the garage. We even synced the garage with it. So the garage and everything. And it looks really, really good at the end of the day. So, you know, that's what you can do with it. And then this is some stuff. This is, like I said, where they got the metal track. This is a U-track, because the reason why we use the U-track is because this has that one like a 3/4 inch board that sticks down. So this just slides right over top of it. So this was a great job. You can see some after photos of it. But, you know, right? It is what you want it is. You can see all the different colors that there is there. There's a bunch of different colors. This house here, we did a little bit of architectural lighting, right? I did all the peaks. I did around the corner. And so I just lit it up a little bit. They didn't want it too bright. They just wanted some lighting on. So this is a way to light it up a little bit. So then that way it's nice and looks good. And you can have some architectural lighting, right? And so that's how you can do this here. So I did say I was going to work on a tool here. And so this is a tool that the AI tool, if you all have any questions on permanent lighting, definitely ask. I just want to, I kind of teased in the beginning about I'm going to start doing a section after I get done teaching of AI tools that I use. And so this is one of the AI tools that I use. It is, I'll go over a bunch of them as we go over. I'll talk about how you can use each tool for AI, how to automate. We'll start talking about automation, how you can automate some stuff, how you can take one thing and make it 3 other things. And so over the next couple weeks, I will start bringing just one little tip of AI to help you guys learn how to grow your business more, right? And so that's my goal, is how can I help you grow your business? And so the first AI tool is just good old Chat GPT. It's one that was one of the first out there. It wasn't the first out there, but it was one of the first. It's an open source. And so they've had many different models, and you can use the free version. There is a free version, there is a $20 version, and there's a $200 version a month. But the free version does pretty well for you. I'm on the $20 version just because originally the $20 version was the $200 version, and then they made the $200 version, got rid of the $20 version pretty much. But ChatGPT, I wouldn't pay for it. Really, I would probably, there is some things I'll show you that you can do with the paid version with the other, but this is a good way that you can do this. So you have all of the different models here. The O3 and O1 are your best advanced reasoning. If you got like a bunch of questions you want to ask it, you can ask these questions and it will sit there and kind of give you the reasoning behind it. So it is definitely some really good models of what you can do. So over here, you can see I've got all my different chats and stuff. So do I use AI? I absolutely use AI. Here's the reason why I use AI. So I've told my story many times, but the reason why I love AI, I've been using AI since the November before that. This came out in November 23. I've been using it before that, and it was called Jasper. Jasper was one of the first ones that was out. I used to pay $125 a month for it, and it sucked, but here's the thing. One of the things is I sucked. I'm not very good at this time about writing content. It's hard for me. I can think about it. I can see it a lot of times, but for me to type it out, it's just a really big struggle for me. I struggle really hard on writing content out. And so when AI started coming out, I started paying for it, and I started using it way back when. And so it is a way that you can train it, you can do different things with it. And here's the thing, I have already spent about $6,000 in training on AI because I use it a lot. I learn a lot. I love learning about it. It's a lot of fun to learn about it. And it's something that I feel like if you don't know what about AI, it's definitely going to change a lot coming up. It's already changed a lot. Like, there's some stuff that literally will blow your mind of what it can do for you, even ChatGPT. And that is one thing about you can literally have ChatGPT on the $200 version. You can have it set up tasks that it will go check your email and then go email this person, and you can have it go look on LinkedIn and find everybody that's a property manager and go like them and go send them a message and all kinds of stuff. Like, there's a lot that you can do with the AI side of things. And so ChatGPT is just the one that I don't use this one a lot. This isn't like my favorite one. This is good for like thinking through things, but for actual writing, this is not the one I use for writing. I use a different one for writing that I'll talk about later, but for today, it's ChatGPT. The cool thing about this is you can do some GPTs, which is stuff that you can make, and you can put a lot of information in there, and it can make it can do different things here, right? And so you can do that. You can see I've got all different kinds of things of this. So this one here has all of LinkedIn stuff in it, right? This one here has everything loaded in LinkedIn. And so I can ask it, and it's up to date on the LinkedIn, and it's going to give me information. This is one of the classes that I've purchased, and so I get to use his tool. And so it's a way that I can go in there and ask it different things on LinkedIn and how to get LinkedIn better, how to set up my my automations, how to do the different things that I can do. And so this is how you can do it, right? Now, here's the thing about AI. A lot of times people will say AI is garbage, and you're right. You put garbage in, garbage out. So it's all about how you get the information into it is how you get the information out of it. I'll show you an instance that I use here. So I do some phone number stuff, and so you can see that I said this was the one. I need to rewrite this. This is one for my permanent Christmas light business that I have, Inspiring Nights, on the voicemail that calls. And so I said I need to change this and rewrite this for US Vets Exterior Cleaning. So then it gave me this, and then so I just worked with the two prompts. This is the two prompts, and so I just played with this here. I'll show you another AI tool that I took his voice, and his voice is the one that is reading this. He never said one word of this. His voice is reading every bit of the way that it's coming out. So that's how you can use AI, right? That's another AI thing that you can use. And you can have fun with this, right? I said, what did I put on here? Where's the one at? Let me know. Customer friendly. I made one where it talks about being a Marine, and it's like, oorah, because he's a Marine, and it was kind of funny. But, it's just a way that you can, make it sound like a Marine. Here's a Marine style. Oorah, you've reached U.S. Vets Exterior Cleaning. We provide out in the field blasting, grime, pressure washing, making dirt tap out. Don't worry, we got your 6, right? And I was able to make the audio really funny of how this sounded. It was pretty good. But it's crazy in what we can do with this, how we can use our brain to help us think through things. You can also do the audio here, and it will talk back and forth to you. I don't know if I can. I always do it on my phone. I don't do it on here, but you can do it here, and it will talk back and forth to me. It might not do it because I'm on my thing here. Hello?
Hey there, what's up?
I just want to do a demo of how you work.
Sounds good. Feel free to throw any request or question my way, and I'll show you what I can do. What would you like to test out?
So I need to write a social media post about my pressure washing and not pressure washing business, my permanent light business.
Got it. Here's a social media post idea for Inspiring Nights, your permanent light business. Light up your home every night, every season. Tired of climbing ladders every year for holiday lights? With Inspiring Nights, you get permanent, professional-grade lighting that looks amazing year-round without the hassle. Custom colors for holidays, game days, and special events. Energy efficient and weatherproof for all seasons. Professionally installed for a sleek, invisible look. Upgrade your home's curb appeal and make every night magical. Comment lights below for more info or DM us to get a quote today. Would you like a different angle? Maybe something focusing on security, commercial installs, or durability?
Yes, I wanted to talk more about the security lighting.
Got it. Here's a post focused on the security benefits of permanent lighting. Keep your home bright and secure every night. Did you know that a well-lit home is one of the easiest ways to deter intruders? With Inspiring Nights permanent lighting, you get beautiful, energy-efficient lights that don't just look amazing. They keep your home safer. Customizable brightness and colors. Light up walkways, driveways, and entry points.
So then when you're done, you can go down here at the bottom, and basically it will give you everything that it just said. So then you can just copy that over and paste it, and there you go. So it's definitely something to think about, how you can use it, play with it, have fun with it. Work it, try different things, see what you like, what you don't like, make it more normal, make it more abnormal, whatever you want to do, make it funny. You can do whatever you want with it to be able to help you get your stuff going with the side of the permanent or beside the AI. All right, so let me go back up here, and I'm going to hit on some of your questions, and then if you got more questions, let me know what's going on. We love our lights. What's up, Matt? I'll be up early tomorrow plowing that white gold. I hear you. I don't know about it gold, but it's supposed to snow some more. What's up, Alexander? Yes, it is live. Why is my thing not working? Yes, it is live. Local company is around $14 a foot here in St. Louis for pressure washing, though our weather over the next 30 days doesn't seem hopeful. I'm ready to wash, right? Let's see what other questions we got here. What other people have on here? Hello, suburbs of Philly. That's true. You get those Florida people down here that do roof cleanings for $100 to $200. Yep, those aren't your customers. I've done Christmas lights the last 2 years, and I'm starting to separate business for permanent lights, but nervous to install without any experience with permanent lighting. Agreed on permanent. They get them at Costco and ask for you to install them cheap. Yeah, and that's what sucks about Christmas lights is when you do get in Christmas light season is you get all these yahoos that want you to come do Gobi lights and put them up because they bought them for $250. They got a great deal on them. Why would I pay you to put up Christmas lights of $1,000 when I bought these for $250 and they say they're going to last forever? Yeah, good luck on that. Landed 9 shopping plazas a day from calling real estate companies. Weekly goal, make 75 calls weekly to commercial customers. Got 2 hotels to clean, 1 small parking garage, and 9 shopping plazas. That right there, my friend, is awesome, right? That's a great goal to have, a weekly goal of 75 calls, and that's amazing how you're able to land jobs because you did that, right? And so people always ask me, how do I get more work? Well, I'm going to show you how to get more work right here, right? This is how you get more work is by going out there and doing the things that you need to do. And that's what you do to be able to do this, right? Go out there and make the phone calls. Is it hard to make those phone calls? It is scary as all get outs, but it's not hard. Just what's the worst they're going to say? No. Or what is the worst they're going to say? Yes. And now you got to go figure out how to clean 9 shopping plazas and all this stuff. So that's amazing, David. That is awesome. How easy is it to hook up to a house if you can't come to a class? I'm just seeing how difficult it is if you're going to learn by yourself at home. And is there a small kit to buy to practice? There is a demo kit. It's not really, you could probably put a small kit together, get a couple lights. If you want, message me and I can get you kind of where you're at for it, is where you're going to be at. Off topic, but too early for yard signs for pressure washing. I'm nervous with how the weather is trending currently. Yeah, I understand about the nervousness about there for sure. It is definitely, who knows what it is right now. It's like crazy right now. One day it's snowing, last week, 2 weeks ago, it was 60 degrees, and this week it's freezing cold and snowing. But looking at the long forecast, it looks like once March gets here, it looks like it's going to start being a little bit better. Hopefully it'll start getting up into the 50s and 60s, and we should go. What's up, Southeast Soft Wash? What's up, dog? This is Coffee Money. How's Mr. Southeast Soft Wash doing? I haven't heard from you in a while. That is awesome. So, but again, if you all, it isn't rocket science. Permanent lighting isn't. It does take a little bit to learn. It isn't as easy as Christmas lights, right? Christmas lights are super easy. It does take a little bit to understand and how to do it. And the hardest part of this here is not really the electric side of it. It is the side of the metal. That is probably the hardest part, is the metal cutting. The metal cutting is kind of a pain in the butt, but to make it look right, that is the most important part of it. And so that does take some time to learn and to do it. And even as I've done about 10 jobs, I'm still learning and still figuring how to do it best. I'm finding better ways to do it than I was taught, because it's just easier for me to do it certain ways. And I like to make things easy. I don't like to make things complicated. And so that's kind of me. That's how I do pressure washing. That's how I do everything. How can I make it the easiest way to do it that works and does great? And so it is definitely something that I would look at doing for the permanent Christmas lights. So if you want to do permanent Christmas lights and learn how to do it, I will have some classes coming up at christmaslights.io/IPT. It is one of those things that I am it is one that I will be having a bunch of classes coming up. One of the things that I do have is they're not actually up online yet because I had to figure out where I was going to have it at here in Cincinnati. I'm going to have one in March and I'm going to have one in April here in Cincinnati. So it is both, they're both close to the airport and they're both close to hotels. So that's why I like having them here in Cincinnati. I've had some at other places and you're 45 minutes to an hour away from the airport, and I really don't like being that far away from the airport, especially because a lot of people do fly in, and so that's why I like having it at Cincinnati. Like, if you have it here in Cincinnati, it's actually in northern Kentucky, but the airport, like the one that this March, you actually be able to see the airport from where we are, and so that's why I do it from here, because I like keeping it close with us for that. Also, I will be only having 1 or 2 more pressure washing classes this year, and then I'll be all Christmas lights and permanent lights. What I'll be the rest of the year. So I will have 2 more pressure washing classes. I may only have 1 more pressure washing class because the last pressure washing class I didn't have too many new people, and so they actually came for the permanent lighting. So I don't know how much more pressure washing classes I'll have. I'll probably only have 1 or 2 unless I see a big influx of people wanting it, which I haven't seen that yet. Mr. George, if you want to know when I go live, you can text the word light, L-I-T-E, to, where is it at, Jason? You can text the word light to L-I-T-E to 855-619-5483. And I will send a text whenever I go live on Christmas lights. That's how I do my Christmas lighting. What is the furthest you have drove to do a pressure washing job? I had one of my property managers ask me today via email if I'd go into Georgia. Not sure how I would respond to that. I have drove about 4 hours for one job. And then Benjamin, he just drove about 10 or 12 hours. So Benjamin, that's local to me here, he drove down to South Carolina because he did a hotel down there and charged $60,000 for the week. So guess what? I will drive all over the countryside for $60,000 for a week. I would probably drive anywhere for $60,000 for a week. And so that's kind of where I think about it. That's what I would do. I mean, as long as you're making money, I'm going to drive wherever they want me to go. And so it is, I'm not going to drive that far for a $100 or $1,000 job. But if it's a hotel or something like that, that you can get, $20,000 out of it, I'm going to drive that all day long. Because you're probably not going to make that much money doing it, that many houses down there in Florida. So that's what I would do. I got another customer that he's in Alabama, and he drives to Georgia, and he does a bunch of different little places he's got. They're all the same thing all the way across the country, and he does it in July every year. He'll start there and work his way all the way over to Georgia and work his way all the way back, and it's like $40,000, and it takes him like 2 or 3 weeks. And so he makes $40,000 in the time of the month that sucks the most. So guess what? He's done it for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's worked out very well for him. So I would, if it pays well enough, I would. If not, depending on where you're at in Georgia, I can probably get somebody for you if there's somebody around that, that you could maybe go look for if you need somebody to do it in that area. That way, it's not to say that you can't do it. I always say you stack Benjamins high enough, I'll go wherever I need to go. Absolutely, 100%. And I don't just want Benjamins. I want another zero on the end of it, right? I want thousands. And I'll go wherever you tell me to go. Bama! But yeah, so that's kind of how you can, that's what I would do with those permanent, or with that job. So what other question? Any other questions in the house? No? Well, just so you know, Monday night marketing Zoom calls every Monday night. If you're in my membership, you can join King of Pressure Wash or ChristmasLights.io. Every Monday night we do a Zoom call. This past week was an amazing Zoom call. I obviously, the last 4 weeks, I've talked about LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn and how to get commercial work. Because really, commercial work is where it's at. If you want to grow your business and put yourself out where nobody else can catch you, it is a lot to do with commercial work. And so this past week, we had a great Zoom call on how to do commercial work. I showed people how to set it up so that you can automate your LinkedIn and how you can start getting your following built up by using LinkedIn. So that's what I hit on pretty hard this past week, and it went very well. And we also had some conversations about people being in the room and why it's important to be around the people that you're around in that room. And most of the people in that room are, 6 figures above. Not to say that if you're starting out, we do have people that are starting out. And so it is definitely something that it is worth the while of getting in there and being in the right room with the right people. But with that, I'm going to jump off here tonight. Hopefully you learned something. Take action, because you can learn all the stuff that you want, but if you don't take action, nothing happens. And it is important that you take action in your business. If you want your business to grow, you have to take action. You have to do those hard things, and you can do hard things. It's kind of like David Edwards said about doing 75 phone calls a week. That is terrifying for a lot of you. Like, a lot of you would get such anxiety and break out and just quit before you would make 75 phone calls. But look, he's getting commercial work because he's calling 75 people, right? And I get it. It's not easy to call 75 calls a week. But guess what? Would you call those 75 people to be able to get 9 jobs? That's a pretty good freaking ratio right there. And that's not what's the lifetime value of that. That's just 9 jobs right now. What's he going to get when he cleans those 9 jobs and they see he does a great job and they got another 100 to do? But if you would have never made those phone calls, you would never get that work. And that's the importance of doing the hard things, doing the things that you're scared of. I get it. It is so scary to call people. I know people that are scared to death to go put yard signs out. They would not put yard signs out in the daytime to save their life. They go sneak around at night so nobody sees them as they're putting the yard signs out. And you know what? That's fine, but it took them a while to get to that point of I had to tell them, well, go put them out at night. Well, what if someone sees me? Awesome. Look at that yard sign and say, that's $50. Click, there's $50. There's another $50. Don't worry about what they say. If someone wants to say something, be like $50, $50. So these right here, right? $1,000 every time you call somebody, right? That's what you got to do. And when you do it, you will be successful. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Running a business is one of the hardest things you'll do. But is it the most rewarding thing you'll do? Absolutely. If you are successful and you know how to charge and you're not being cheap and you go at it all you got, right? So that's what my rant for the night of it is. Hope you all have an amazing night. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and we'll see you all later.